Hey everybody, this is Brandon Walton with the Idaho Press Tribune, and I'm here with the new C of I Athletic Director, ReaganRossi. And I'm going to ask her just a lot of questions about the new position, where she's from, and stuff like that. So I hope you guys enjoy. But Reagan, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with us.
Oh, thanks for having me.
You've been at the job now for almost exactly a month. So how's the first month going for you?
It's been great. It's been busy, but good. We're gearing up for fall sports, football, men's and women's soccer, and volleyball, cross country. Exciting times. August is always an exciting month.
Now, kind of give us your background that kind of led to you obtaining this position.
I was the women's basketball coach here for 13 years. I have a master's in sports administration from Morehead State in Kentucky. I think I always knew I'd end up in administration at some point in time. I don't know as I thought I would be this young, but when the opportunity presented itself, my husband and I just knew it was something we couldn't pass up. We love Caldwell. We love the college. We want to be here long term. This is a great place to raise our kids, and we love it here.
Now, you served as the associate athletic director for, was it 4 years?
Yes.
So during that time, you got to work with, Marty Hawley, who was here for 35 years. So, I mean, did you learn a lot during that time, kind of under his tutelage and what he was kind of able to do for this university?
I did. Marty's great to work with. It was fun when we first started the process because he hadn't had an assistant and somebody to help him. So I just kind of kept taking more and more off his plate as time went on. And then with the start of football, we kind of knew that was going to consume a lot of his time getting football up and running. So I started kind of doing the day-to-day management of the operations of the department. And then kind of, he was talking about retiring at some point, but not really leaving. He's still working with us. He's the associate AD now. He's working a lot on fundraising, some game management, kind of doing some of the things that I took off his plate. We're putting back on his plate. He's going to get the Hall of Fame back up and running. We've got plenty to do for both of us, but it was a great time for both of us to make this transition. I was ready. He was ready. He has a new pep in his step. He is ready to go. He's excited about what he's doing. So I think it's been very good for both of us.
Great. So you guys had discussions about this, previously. So when was it kind of his idea that you kind of take the reins, and how did you kind of feel that he was wanting you to kind of, be his successor for this position?
We talked about it 4 years ago and kind of laid out a plan, about what my personal goals were, what he was thinking he wanted in terms of his time frame, and then really kind of waited to see how football was going to play into that for him. But we really started that 4 years ago, and like I said, the timing was on his time frame when he was ready to step down and take on new projects, new objectives. So I was happy with what I was doing. I enjoy what I do, and so really it was kind of laid out. And we had talked with Dr. Henberg, our previous president, about it, and then he retired. So we kind of waited for Dr. Borst to come in and work with her for a year, and so she got a feel for the department and for Marty and for myself and how we work together and how we work with our department and our coaches, and she felt very comfortable with the transition, which was great for both of us.
When you found out that officially you're going to be the next person in charge of this university, I mean, how were you kind of feeling? Were you excited when everything was made official and you were the next up? Or
I was extremely excited. Like I said, when you work on something for 4 years, it's kind of waiting on his time frame, but he was great. He was very upfront and honest about it the whole time. This is going to happen at the end of this year. We really started talking about it last fall, but we needed to work with Dr. Borst and kind of get her to understand why we wanted to do this, why it was best for our institution, an easy transition for coaches, for boosters, for fans. So all of that was really important in what we wanted to have happen. And for her to be 100% on board was great for us.
Now, are you nervous kind of taking over for Marty? Because he's a guy that practically could say built athletics here at this college. So, I mean, you're a little nervous, kind of, big shoes to fill.
They are. I don't know as you ever want to be the guy after the guy.
Right.
And here I am, the guy after the guy. Marty was great. Marty has done so much for this department and where we started. When we were in Kirkpatrick with 4 sports and 1 telephone, to 19 sports, to women's sports added, to obviously the ending here with football. He's done so much. Like I said in the press conference, if I can take that baton and keep running with what he's done, I could only hope to be as good as he has been here. We have such good coaches. We have a great relationship with Mayor Nancolis in the city of Caldwell. We've got projects we're doing with them yet. So there's still a lot that we're moving for and trying to advance what Marty has done and make it a little bit better.
All right. Now, I was doing some research, and with Division I universities, there's only, out of the 313 schools, there's only 37 female athletic directors. So, I mean, this isn't a job where a lot of females, are in this position. So, how do you kind of feel like being a woman in this position? I mean, and is this job, do you deal with kind of a lot of, guy stuff, I guess, what I'm trying to say there? Or?
The funny thing is there's a couple women that I have coached against and who are now also athletic directors. Kelly Lindley over at Northwest Nazarene, Angie Weisenfluh over at Eastern Oregon, and to have them as friends, and we started off with competitive relationships. It's been really good for all three of us to transition into this role, to work together, to continue to communicate together, and help each other out. So it's been good to bounce things off of each other. Eastern Oregon's a great example, as she has had football longer than we have, so I consult with her on some football things. But she is looking at adding other sports, and we talk about budgets and salaries and the ability to recruit those sports. They just added wrestling over there. So again, a female adding a male sport.
Right.
I think if you're in the sports world, you are in the sports world, male, female. It is what it is. I think we've all dealt with male athletes and male coaches all our life, female coaches, female athletes. I don't consider it really a big concern for me. It's just exciting, really, for our female athletes to see females progressing in their career as coaches, as administrators, with families, with volunteer things in the community. So I think anytime you can lay that out there, that we can do this and we can be successful at it, I think that's tremendous. Having said that, I've always considered myself one of the guys. I think Liz Mendiola would say the same thing. So we're a big family here.
Okay. What do you feel is the state of C of I athletics right now? How are you kind of feeling about where the sports are at currently right now? How are you kind of feeling?
I feel really good. I just talking with Liz this morning about the volleyball team. She's really excited, loves the group she's got in here. When you recruit student athletes, you're always hopeful that it's going to turn out how you kind of envision your team and lay it out. And when they get here and you get them on the floor or on the court, in the pool, whatever it is, and you see that dynamic start to come together, it's really exciting to watch. Football's moving in today. It'll be exciting to get them going and to watch some practices and see where we're at. The quarterback, that's always a key position. But we've got some big kids on defense that have come in, running backs, new coaches. At our level, we kind of go through those assistant coaches. So it's always kind of different from year to year what you're going to get. I know both soccer teams are extremely excited. When you look at Scott Garson, men's basketball, he is extremely excited about his group coming in. He's a little different than I was as a coach. I was always like, we'll finish fourth, maybe. I think that's a good spot for us to start at. And he is on the bandwagon with this team, and he thinks they're going to be great. Having the transition from Pat McCurry, who moved on to Boise State, who did so many great things here in track and cross country, to bring in Austin Bastier on. Again, we're not missing a beat. Austin's young, but he's passionate, he's energetic, he's intelligent. He's going to do great in this. So I think I really feel like we're in a great position.
All right. And obviously, being a new athletic director, I'm sure you kind of want to carve a niche for yourself as well. So what are going to be some of your goals that you want to accomplish, during your tenure here? Maybe some things you want to see in the next couple of years? Anything you're kind of looking at doing for this university?
There's a couple things we've kind of talked about internally right now. We're working with the city and the mayor on building a track, talking with the Y. We're just in the early conversation portion of that, but I think if that's something that we could accomplish, I don't know if 5 years is a realistic goal, but considering we haven't started fundraising for it yet, but the city is on board, the Y is on board. We've talked to a couple potential sponsors who think that would be a great fit for their missions. So I think if we could get that track, I think that would be pretty exciting for not just for the track and field, but for the other sports as they do their preseason conditioning. But then you look at the community and what it could do for the Caldwell community, and possibly trying to get some high school state championships over here. I think those are all great things happening.
Yeah. I think the last question I have here, we'll end on this. I mean, how are you kind of feeling about, how is your first year going to play out? What things maybe you're looking forward to for your first year at the helm here at C of I?
It's funny. When you talk about vision and goals, we just had our first coaches meeting yesterday. We've got such great coaches. If I can help them be successful, and at our level, that's usually a financial goal. If we can raise some money, if we can alleviate some of the financial pressures and burdens, that's always our primary goal. If we can get our teams into a competitive position to compete for conference championships, for national championships, that's what we want to do. We want to keep forwarding that goal, because when you have successful teams and successful coaches, those people stay. It's good for the college, it's good for the community, and it does nothing but great things. I mean, you look at the numbers football has brought into the community financially and into the stands. That's something we couldn't have predicted. We completely lucked into that. It was the right time, right place, great situation for us. Boise State has done their thing to bring football really alive in the Valley, and we're completely capitalizing on that. So anytime you can do, get that town and gown relationship and do something, great things for the college, great things for the community, that's what we want to have happen.
All right. Well, Reagan, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.